There's a surefire way to make sure you don't get any videos produced. There's a few. One of the ways is to obsess over lighting. Um, and as I'm going through this process and learning, it's something I spend way too much time on. So I think this is going to be good enough. Um, so I want to talk to you about my new EP. We're calling it an EP. I don't really know what it is. We're not putting out a physical product. I guess what it is just a guided selection of songs that I need to put out. And after several false attempts, I was listening to Joe Pug's podcast, The Working Songwriter, and he was talking to Elvis Perkins. And at one point, they started talking about how when you listen to music as a listener, you, especially if you're kind of a lyric driven acoustic music kind of guy, you really want something where the song and the lyrics and the story touch you. And the challenge is, or I guess the fear among songwriters, and it was great to hear Joe Pug and Elvis Perkins talk about this, is you often start just overproducing and adding layer after layer, and it's really some external voice that will usually say, you know, you don't really need that, or maybe pull that out, or let's have less of this. And less really is more. One of my problems, and it's been such a kind of a detriment and a barrier to me producing music, is that I want to overproduce these songs. I want to add, I want to add a layer of this and these pads and then these additional drums and this percussion and this other guitar line, and work on my bass line till it's overdone. And really what it ends up doing, and particularly layering vocals, like doubling up a chorus, tripling up a chorus, quadrupling up a chorus. And, I have to step back a little bit and be a little more comfortable that the songs carry themselves. And if the songs carry themselves, I don't need to overproduce them. Now, I don't want to underproduce them. I want to put out kind of full-featured, professional-sounding songs, but I don't have to sit there and just labor over every fine detail. I remember reading about, what was his name? Tom Scholz of Boston, who, literally would just take years and God, his music's great, and the layered sounds and the lushness and richness of it. But that's not what I'm doing. And really, it's just become a hindrance to me putting out music. So this project, Troubled Mind, came out of, I wrote 3 songs this year, and Troubled Mind was one of them. And just really enjoyed the process of writing it. And another song called Clear the Air, and the other song from this year was Reflections, a song called Reflections. And I wanted to put those out. And so what I did is I like the idea of Troubled Mind as a EP title. And once again, we're calling it an EP, but I don't think we're putting out physical product. Well, we'll put out t-shirts and product around it, but really what we're working on is 6 songs in a guided fashion, limiting myself to that and getting those out. And so I'm going to kind of show you the process, and we'll explain that a little bit more. And I'm going to cover all 6 songs. Not right now. I'm not going to play them all right now. There's a playlist with acoustic versions of it that I'll point you to. It's in the description. You can find it on my page, on my YouTube channel. But I'm just going to talk a little bit about the songs and their writing, and then where I'm at the production. But first, I need to get my dogs out. So we'll be back. As you can see, one of the things I love to do is get my dogs out and do a little bit of hiking. Almost every day, I try and get them out for a bit of a walk. Unfortunately, I live pretty close to a spot that is beautiful. As a matter of fact, last night I didn't get any video of it. We came down into a meadow and there were like 8 deer there. My lab, Bo, the black one, he went totally haywire. Rain was far more reserved. Bo kind of went chasing him up into the hills, although he can't get close to them. They were gone a lot faster than him. And Rain started to chase, and then she stopped. Wasn't sure she wanted to kind of tangle with those things. But either way, big mule deer, beautiful area. So I try and get out. That's a place for me to, I don't know, gather myself and just feel physically and emotionally, I guess, spiritually better. And I've written some songs while out on trails too, or at least started them and just recorded them into my phone. But anyways, I want to talk to you about Troubled Mind, the project, and the 6 songs that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to, hopefully, as we go through this, my goal is to take everyone on the journey of recording these songs and hopefully putting out some music that you enjoy. So the first song we're doing is Making Peace with the War. It's a song I wrote in 2019. I actually wrote it before Debbie and I, well, I think Debbie and I had started, we had started going out. We were a couple at that point. But I lived down in downtown LA. She lived up here, north of Los Angeles. And so I was driving up to her house, about a 50 minute drive or so. And while I was driving, I wrote these lyrics to the song Making Peace with the War. And I showed up at the house. And I said, oh, check out these lyrics. I'm really excited about them. And I showed them to her. And she's like, oh my gosh, I know I'm going to like this. It's going to be a minor chord song. She loves minor chord songs. And we were getting ready to go somewhere. She was jumping through the shower, so I was sitting out at the kitchen table and I picked up my guitar because I had just written the lyrics. I had an idea kind of sonically where I wanted it to go. Pretty simple, just kind of an E minor based song. So you figure everything's built around, E minor, A, and B7, right? That's the song. And so I just sat down at the table, and by the time she had finished her shower, I had really written the entire music for the song. And then just started working on it. So love that and how it's turning out. I'm going to show that in just a couple minutes so that you get an idea of where the production is on that. I think we're almost done. I'm going to record some vocals today and hopefully we can put that to rest. I like everything else about it. I don't like my guitar solo, and I don't know if I'll have the guitar player for my band, Steve Schmidt. He's the son of Al Schmidt, who recently passed away, legendary recording artist, and Steve's a great guitar player. And so I do want him to record on that song, but I don't know if we're going to get the chance before I put the songs out under this EP's release. But either way, I'll show you that. The next song I'm doing is a song called Reflections. And I wrote that song this year. I actually wrote it immediately the day following writing Troubled Mind, which I also wrote this year. And Reflections just came about. I was playing around with, just kind of capoing my guitar around, and I was playing some chords, and we were sitting around, sitting in the bed, just talking. By now, Deb and I had moved in together, and I said, I have this sound that I want to do something with. And she's like, oh yeah, it sounds really beautiful, and kind of a mellow, thoughtful song. And when I started writing the lyrics, she said, write lyrics right now. And I kind of went into the other room and started the lyrics, just a first verse. And when I came in, I told her, I said, oh, the song is heartbreaking. It's just heartbreaking. I know the character. I can see him in my mind's eye. The song's going to be left open to a lot of interpretation for people. I've gotten some feedback on it already. Suffice to say, the person's less guilty of the crimes people might think he's guilty of, but he certainly is reflecting on losing someone and what that's meant to him and what it caused him to do, and some self-destructive behavior. So you can give a listen to Reflections. That was written this year. Troubled Mind, which I talked about in another video, and that really started with a Mark Twain quote, or the misattributing a Mark Twain quote. It is a Mark Twain quote, the way it was said. You can look at the other video. I think the quote is, the reports of my death were an exaggeration. And it's said in a variety of ways, and there was an obituary written by Mark Twain when he was in Europe, and somebody asked him about it, and he said, the reports of my death were an exaggeration, which is true form, kind of hilarious Mark Twain-isms. And so I saw that posted on Facebook, and I wrote the line, the reports of my demise, mostly they were true. And then I go through the story of a breakup and heartache and a little bit of anger, but also a little bit of wistfulness of wanting to know, were we at all good? If not, can you just tell me that we were good, that there was something to our relationship? So that's the third song, and the title song. Decision Road is a song I wrote back in 2012, and really had a personal element to it. I was kind of back out of my second marriage falling apart, and there's a whole backstory to that that's never really going to come out. No bad behavior on anybody's part. My, my second wife's a very sweet person, and I just was in a place where I was not ready to remarry so soon after my first long-term relationship, and so lot of guilt about that decision, and that's really what drove that song. Although the song itself is not really about that, but that's kind of where the idea of the song came. So this road of decisions. The next one is The Night is Calling, which has come out in various ways before. And that is a song, kind of a blues rock and roll song. And that one, when it comes out and is produced, and I'll be showing that very soon, is going to be a full band production. So I have recording with my drummer and a bass player, myself on guitar, and then Steve Schmidt on lead guitar. And so I just need to re-record a few parts, and then I want to do a couple vocal passes to see if I get something more. And once again, this is one of those fears of maybe me overproducing or overworking a song. And then the last song is called Clear the Air, and I wrote this song also this year, before Troubled Mind and before Reflection. And it's a short song, and it's one of the favorite songs I've ever written. And so I reached out to my friend Emiko, and she recorded some Hammond organ and some piano on that. And now I'm just adding some percussion. I'm going to re-record the vocals, and I think that song is going to be ready to release. So I'm really excited about it. You can go look at the acoustic version, but once again, it's one of my favorite songs I've ever written lyrically. Just such an interesting and introspective piece. And for the project Troubled Mind, it really is a good wrapper. It kind of ends things as an end cap of, I guess, coming to a point of being okay with things that didn't work out, and that's okay. We're still content. We're happy with where we are and the movements we're making. So those are the 6 songs that we're working on. Now I want to jump into Making Peace with the War, show you what I'm doing with it, and then I'll come back on a couple concluding thoughts. But I appreciate you taking the time to watch this, and hopefully you follow the journey. I'm really excited about it, and hope you are too. All right, so we're going to take a look at our project here in Reaper. Reaper is the software I use for recording and producing music. And I'm going to go through this process again. I've kind of done it before, but the first thing I do is lay down the scratch track. I've actually made a bunch of changes since I first did this, but that happens up here, and I just do a basic beat, and then I start layering things over it. And in this particular track, I wanted to get some drums, but I wanted to program them. And rather than lay them out on grid, I actually played them on my Alesis keyboard. And so you could see those here, and the way the song starts out, I just have some hi-hat going, and so you'll hear that. I have a bass that kind of runs all the way through. Haven't done anything with the envelope or changing volume. We'll get to that. Then what I have down here is a acoustic guitar, and then a finger picking guitar, and I kind of want to show you what I'm doing with that because I like how that sounds. And then a clean electric guitar and electric guitar melody that comes in. You can kind of really see that I've just broken this up and affected this slightly differently than I did these pieces. So those are the guitar parts. This right here is a guitar solo that I won't show you. Not that happy with it. And then here are the vocals, but I'm going to mute out the vocals because the first place I really want to start is with the idea of just getting really a solid sounding song overall, a vibe. And I was listening to this last night, and I really kind of like the vibe and where it's going. Once again, I'm going to make a few adjustments, but I don't want to spend so much time that the song doesn't get produced. It might be done today if I really sit down and do some work on it. So let's take a look at what it does. I'm going to position my cursor up here a little bit, and you'll hear the guitar come in, both the finger picking guitar and the kind of a strumming guitar that I didn't think I was going to use, but I like how it sounds. And then the clean guitar coming in there. The melody doesn't come in till the chorus. And then I also added some keyboards at the chorus, and I rendered those to an actual, from the MIDI to an actual track, so I could start affecting it a little bit, a few effects, and route some reverb and all that kind of fun stuff that probably bores the heck out of you. So let's give it a listen. So you hear that hi-hat. And the finger-picking guitar, but it's going to drop out at the chorus and come in halfway through. Now here it comes. And then the melody right here. Pretty active bass line. Hold on, talking too loud because I'm hearing the mix. So that's kind of the sound. Now I'm going to bring the vocals in, which I'm going to be re-recording today, I think. So let's just unmute these, and we're going to go right to the chorus. I also want to raise that finger-picking guitar right here a little bit in volume. I'm just going to take this one piece and raise it up because I like how it sounds. I'll probably EQ it to bring it out really a little bit more, but let's just pop it up a little bit, maybe almost 3 dB. So let's hear the vocals come in.
I once believed that I was a good man until I was exposed to the darkness within. And then you found me and I found my religion, sacrificed it all to the song and the sin. Well, I jumped from the pan right into the fire, fell from on high to the valley below, turning my
You can hear that
back on what I've known and
melody in the background.
I'm making peace with the war, my soul. Mama told me, son, you are here for a reason, but I've lost my way so many times. The destiny, it feels like a dried up old river, and I'm like a prophet missing all of the signs.
So that's what we're working on, and hopefully that gives you a little bit of excitement. I'm kind of liking how it's sounding, but you can let me know what you think. I'll probably do a short of a piece of that as well, just so that I can put something else out on YouTube. I'm not doing enough videos. Yeah, so I'll get back at you in 1 second. So that's where we are with Making Peace with the War. I really like the song, love the lyrics. I love that second verse, as I mentioned in the other video. I just really like the imagery of it. In any case, we're producing Troubled Mind. We're recording it all here. In the next video, I'm actually going to take you through some of what I have to record. I don't have some extensive studio. I don't have top-end gear for everything I do. I have a halfway decent electric guitar, a halfway decent acoustic. I have a keyboard controller. I'm going to take you through all of that and a few microphones. And you can kind of see what the background and process is and the recording software I use. I'll kind of cover everything. And that'll give you some insight into what I'm doing. And if you're a performer, songwriter, and you have some thoughts on that, then hopefully you find it interesting. But either way, this is the Troubled Mind project. EP, once again, is it an EP? I don't know. It's a collection of songs. They'll be released individually, one at a time, including the acoustic versions, which now I'm getting ready to prepare for release. And really, I'm waiting for Deb. Deb has to get my cover ready, kind of a cover to the project. I want an overall look, and we've talked about it. She's a photographer and does graphic design, and so fortunately I get to lean on her. But as is the case with many people in professional fields, like I work in technology, we're often the last people who get to benefit from those particular talents, even if they are our own talent. It's kind of the cobbler's children have no shoes. So hopefully we can get that done in the next few days and get a mock-up at least of the EP cover. So anyways, thank you for tuning in. If you found it interesting, if you want to follow this journey, I would love it if you subscribed and got updates as to when we were putting out new videos, music videos, whatever the case may be. Check out the 6 songs, the playlist, the acoustic versions of all these songs. I like how they came out. They came out pretty well, and would love to have you give me some feedback on what do you think, what songs do you like, and let's take the next steps. Thanks again for tuning in. See ya.